So you said this probably is your 8th short films. So what other films did you do before?
My first film was called Denial. That was my first short film where I ended up shooting it, directing it, writing it. I acted in it. I made the music for it. I scored it. I did the Foley work. I did all the post-production. I did the coloring. It was a one-man band thing, and it won an award at the New York International Film Festival. I didn't know how, and it was against all these other productions that were in the $50,000 to $100,000 budgets, and we won over them too. So what that meant to me was that you don't need to have a huge, gigantic budget if you actually have the vision to make it compelling enough.
Or a whole lot of crew.
A whole lot of crew. And then after that, I started working with collaborating with other directors and producers that worked in Law and Order, that worked in Hollywood sets. But they were all in New York at the time. And we did, Spirit Hoboken, and then we did other action, an action movie, and then we do more. And I'm more like I guess not limited to thrillers or comedy or anything like that, but
you do anything that interests you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, if it's a great story, we shoot it. We want to do it, and our goal right now is to take these short films, take all this experience, and now put it into a feature film. And we want to do it very carefully. I know a lot of people kind of rush into making a feature film. I want to do it now. I don't know why they want to do it now. So my thing was to take our time, build strong pre-productions, because budget is always an issue. Create great storyboards, animatics, and really by the time we get on set, everyone should know exactly what they want to do on the set. It's like
they're doing.
Tons of rehearsals, the lighting. We don't, there's collaboration on set, but everyone should know exactly where they're placed, rather than trying to figure it out, because you're limited on days. The more days you shoot, the more money you spend. So, and that's what I at least train my guys that work with me to do.
So
it's been successful lately. Yeah.
Yes. So how did you break into the film business?
I started in the music industry first, and I finished at Rutgers University, and then I went to Juilliard for music, and I got into the whole film business because I wanted to make music videos for my music, but music's not a lucrative business, so I ended up, after doing my testing my film out using my first film, which is Denial, I ended up falling in love with it. And from there, I had so much great responses from it that I ended up turning it into a business. So it was a music company and a film company, and then I ended up dissolving my music company, becoming a full-fledged film company.
But do you do music as well right now?
I don't produce that much anymore. No, not anymore. But we score music. Yeah, we score music for the films.
And sounds.
Yes, and we also, but at the end of the day, I'm also an entrepreneur running my company. So I don't want to be the one-man band still, kind of. So the point of having my own company is to bring on talented people that could really make could grow the company. So it's in my best interest to find someone that's dedicated to music, bringing them on board, and and having them make the best music for whatever films that we're trying to produce. And same goes with crew, talent. I'm not trying to be the shooter anymore. I mean, I love directing, I love making films too, but at the same time, I love being able to make multiple films and grow a business at the same time.
So what's the project you're doing right now?
The film right now is a feature film called Adding Darkness. It was written by a person named Tim Draga. And it's a psychological thriller / horror film, but it's not a full horror film. It's not just something that just goes and scares you. The film it's about a New York City writer that ends up having problems like sudden loss of parents, and ends up running away from his problems. But you know, just like in real life, you run away from your problem, what happens? You end up going to more problems, nothing gets resolved. So he ends up running away, taking a cross-country road out in the desert with his long friend, female friend, and you know, strange things start happening. What happens is that they enter a labyrinth, a maze. And I'm not sure what you know what a labyrinth is. Labyrinth is kind of finding your inner self.
Yes.
You're going to the middle until you find something, and then you resolve yourself. So that's what happens to him. He learned from his mistakes. He learned in resolving his darkness, and not running away from his problems. So it becomes all this time shifting, distance changing. I'm not sure you know, just things that are not making sense at all. And it has a lot of drama and a lot of comic relief as well. We optioned the film for about 3 years, and we ended up. He had the original concept, and then we ended up taking. I have five writers for my company. We brought it every Wednesday night. We would do a writing session, and we would just keep developing, revising the story until we came to something that we thought was ready. Pretty much greenlighting the project.
So is this the first horror movie you did?
This will be my first feature film, and so I'm really excited, extremely passionate about it. I think this is, you know, I went through so many different scripts.
Yes.
We wrote a lot of other films too, or at least come up with ideas of it, and we always kept scrapping them away because we just felt like it wasn't ready. It was something that the market wasn't ready for until we found this film, and that we thought we could really build a business around it. And so far we've been at it for half a year already, and it's been. I'm still excited. I'm still passionate about the project, which means a lot.
Is it hard to make a horror movie?
You know what I mean? I think horror has changed throughout the whole years. Horror, like, it's not like the Friday the 13th or Jason, Nightmare on Elm Street or like that anymore. I think horror is with all these reality shows and stuff that's happening. I think anything that shows realism is horror. You know, the realism, like seeing whether it could be something simple where it's dad is killing her own daughter or something like that. I think that's a horror. That's horror because those stuff does actually happen in real life, versus something a little bit, you know, out there where it doesn't make sense. Might not be a horror film, or you know,
they can't relate to it, so it won't scare.
Yeah, if people can relate to it, it's not a horror film in my opinion. So I think with the film that we have, there's a lot of, you know, there's a moral to the story. It actually makes sense of how I think people could relate to darkness. People could relate to problems, and I think everyone has problems. So, and I think a lot of people run away from their problems. So, hopefully, we could tell this story that in a way that's entertaining, and also be able to learn from it. You know.
So, what's your expectation for this movie when it finishes? Are you going to distribute?
Yeah, we want to negotiate with theatrical releases, with major distributors as well. We want to approach the major companies like Paramount that has so much success with horror films and thriller films. And if that doesn't go too well, or if it does, you know, the other option is going through the festivals like Sundance. My lawyer, Stephen Beer, he represents. He's big part of Sundance and Cannes Film Festival, and he represented like major music artists, other major films as well. And so we hope that his expertise will help us get us to another level as well. Another thing is that, you know, you got the VOD, DVDs, and in the TV syndications as well. And I think this film is open to that market, and we hope that we get those opportunities to get it there and get it viewed and see what the audience like. If they like it, then there's a chance for success.
I think you have established yourself for very well already, because after this short film, you already have a feature project going on. So what's the future goal for your own company?
Well, my biggest goal was to turn my company into the next, and I might be really ambitious, but I wanted to become the next Universal Studios, where we are doing everything in-house, post-production, but of course collaborating with other major companies as well. But it has, that we want to be making major motion films with bigger, really big budgets that make sense. That is, we want to create jobs for the industry of other filmmakers, and we also want to be game changers. We don't want to be trendsetters or anything. We want to be the trendsetters, and we want to be able to have a heavy influence in the filmmaking world, because filmmaking is totally changing on a daily basis, and people don't know where it's going, but I think with the vision that we have and our plans and everything, I think it could steer into a really great direction for film.
Because now the Chinese film market has become big.
Very big.
Yeah, and with more opportunities. So have you ever thought maybe making film in China, or maybe?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
He talks about this every day.
I talk about it every day. I wanted to collaborate, with China, with other international other
like
companies
global,
and stuff.
yes.
Is the question of, is the language barrier going to be a problem? All this type of things, and I definitely am interested in that. That's not on just the business side of things, but more on also as well the art form and the cultural, and seeing how Americans and even Vietnamese as myself and Chinese culture could mix together and making something happen, whether it's a documentary film or a narrative, or turning maybe a horror film but done in a educational way or some way,